we're here at Devoxx Belgium, and I'm joined by Britt, an Android developer. So you talked about Android architecture. What's that like at a Java conference?
Um, so it was really interesting experience. Um, I mean, on Android we do use Java, but it's totally different thing, to write Android apps. It has its own complexity and its own challenges that you just don't get on other platforms or like on the server side, for example. So my talk was about addressing that. I had a room with I think less of half Android developers there. So I'm very used to talking at Android conferences. And this was my first time talking in a non-Android conference with a majority of non-Android developers. But I did want to give um, a little bit of the idea of what it is to develop for Android, some of the best practices, some of the new features that that can help us develop good Android applications, which has been a challenge, and this is something that Google addressed not too long ago, and just a few days ago the architecture component library became stable. So this component is something that I wanted to talk about and show, but moreover, I wanted to talk about the architecture itself and what it is to architect. In my experience, there are many right answers, of course, for everything. But in my experience, what it is to develop a stable, maintainable Android app in terms of architecture. I got many developers, attendees, of course, who approached me after the talk and said that many things make sense a lot for server-side development and architecture, for example. So it gave them some ideas and some stuff to think about, and like the similarities were interesting for them. So maybe I can convert some of them to be Android developers, which is nice. So that was interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have to admit that I haven't used Android myself. I haven't done any Android development, so I'm afraid I am in the camp where I need to watch your talk and learn a few things.
No, but that's okay. I think that part of what I've been trying to do in my talk is I did talk about like what it is to develop an Android app and how to architect it, but I think that anyone can learn from it a little bit, have fun a little bit, understand what I'm talking about, even if you don't understand the challenges, very, very deeply. Um, and maybe it would give you an appetite too. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can enjoy it also.
Cool. And I know that this is a ridiculously open-ended question.
Okay.
So maybe what are a few examples of clean Android architecture?
So for me, and what I've been talking about is, and actually many things of what I've been talking about are actually right now are in the official documentation after the Android, like I said, so Google started with an Android architecture project, you can say. It has, which became stable just a few days ago, which is amazing. And I've been working on it with them for a few months now. So it does contain the new components, like technical components in the framework that can help us out with many challenges that we face. But it also comes with guidelines, like how to architect it. And this is a lot of what I've been talking about. So mainly what we love to do is to divide the app, or the way we actually see the app, to 3 layers. So one, we try to not overcomplicate stuff. So we only have 3 layers for now, and one is the presentation layer for the UI. It knows the UI, it knows the view. It has to be really, really, really simple and stupid though. Like take a field, take a string, present it. Take a color, present it. That's it. That's the UI level. And on the other hand, we have the data layer, which is very much objective way to represent the data, because we work with data from network services or databases or many other places which doesn't have to be our app, so we don't even have the control over them. So we have that data layer, which we work with different entities than on the view and on the view layer entities, and we work with repository patterns.
Yeah.
We have that, and in the middle of it, we have the domain layer, which has all the business logic. It is combined with use cases. So all of the features, all of the tasks that we want to do in the app are there, like get the users or get tweets or save a photo. All of these things are like, each one of them is a use case, which are on the domain layer. And the domain layer's job is to actually talk between the data layer and the UI layer, and to be an adapter for the different entities, for the view model entity and the data model entities. So this is kind of it in general. And then and then on my talk I explained that, and I explained like how do we do it, actually implement it in Android with the new Android component.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.